into industries such as nuclear, fusion, R&D companies, space technologies, companies such as build antennas and batteries and satellites, medical and Formula One.
And it was something they needed to have in Datatrack, but we looked at it and thought, well, they're doing 10% of a job. We won't give them 10%, we want to give them 100%.
Welcome to yet another MTDCNC podcast. I'm joined again by Geoff Gartland from PSL Datatrack. Geoff, I think we've done 4 or 5 now, and I think I should be getting your name right, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I think you've probably got a different way of mispronouncing it each time, Colin.
At least I'm consistently bad. That's a nice idea. And then we are joined by Simon Fisher from machining technology known as Mach-Tech. Is that right, Simon?
That's correct, yeah. It's our trading name.
Okay. Now, Simon, I'm going to admit to our listeners that we did have a minor technical issue last time, and so we've dragged, is that the right word? We've invited you back to do another podcast. Listeners, just let them know that it wasn't too traumatic the first time, was it?
No, it was absolutely fine. No,
that was a little bit of a pause there. I'm not convinced by that one. But I did ask last time. It's always difficult as well. Is you say, sell your business to me, and people sit there and they think, oh blimey, I do it all day every day. I don't really think about that. But tell me a little bit about your business and what you guys, obviously subcontract machine shop, but what do you guys actually do?
Right. So Mach-Tech have been operating for 25 years in the Oxfordshire area. We supply CNC milled, CNC turned, and mechanical assemblies into industries such as nuclear, fusion, R&D companies, space technologies, companies such as build antennas and batteries and satellites, medical and Formula One. Most of our customers are within 5 to 10 miles of our location. And the company over the last 25 years has mainly grown through word of mouth with very little sort of sales, direct sales pushes.
I'm going to say straight away there, Simon, fantastic. That's really impressive in terms of, you're not had to do much sales because that just proves the quality of your work. Drop, not that you're dropping in there, but nuclear, space and F1, you're obviously doing some really complex components, I'm assuming here.
Yeah, it's usually quite high tolerance, where quite tricky. It seems to be a case these days. If you can design a thing, if you can design it, you can make it. It's not always the case, but usually on the edge of what is achievable on a machine.
Okay, so I'm assuming then relatively small batch runs.
Yeah, we can cater for larger ones, but we typically it's like 1 to 10. But we do have machinery which is capable of sort of like lights out machining.
Okay, because you've got a Haas with a pallet system as well.
That's right. It's got 16 pallet pull. And obviously, depending on what we're running on there, it can run all night or for a couple of days.
Brilliant. Okay, and I'm assuming some tricky materials as well.
Yeah, we do. We mainly deal with aluminium and stainless, but we do some exotics like Inconels every now and again. Usual plastics, carbon fibre.
Oh, right, okay. So big range there. So you need to keep control of that all those materials as well. And that ties in nicely with what you're doing with PSL Datatrack. I'm going to take a step back here, and as I alluded to people before on podcasts, obviously we want to educate. If that's the right word. It's a little bit lighthearted. I do need to question. What's your LinkedIn? What's the picture on your LinkedIn profile, Simon?
Right, yeah. Well, some time ago, I didn't have much of a LinkedIn profile at all. I still haven't even filled it in properly. And I was pressured to put a photo up. And I just noticed all the corporate photos seem to be on LinkedIn. I just thought I went for something different.
Yeah.
I think I just built a wall and some decking outside the back of our house.
I was thinking that was, it looked like you've been doing a bit of building, but I haven't got a video stream for yourself, but I've got a video stream for Geoff, and he looked up when I said that. He's like, what the flipping heck is Colin on about?
I've seen the picture before, yeah.
I did ask my colleague if it was professional enough, and she said just about, so.
Yeah, that's all good. Anyway, moving on swiftly. So, fantastic machine shop, been going 25 years. How long have you had PSL Datatrack, and how has it influenced, transitioned your business, if those are the right words?
Well, yeah, sort of. We've been with PSL Datatrack for the last 12 years. We used to run Excel spreadsheets, which had quite a few limitations. Very difficult to track anything or have any form of traceability. But through getting Datatrack, it's just supplemented our business, and it's just allowed us to grow and to continue to grow and expand. And there's we haven't found any limits on its capabilities so far. And over the years, we've done some development with PSL, which is only just complemented what we do.
Okay, because as you didn't allude to, you said directly you actually haven't had any big sales push as such. You've just grown by word of mouth. So, and PSL has been part of that growth, because every engineer loves a good Excel spreadsheet and a bit of Word document maybe, but it's bringing it to the next level. So, Geoff, back to you. What sort of things have you done, and how have you worked with Simon and his team?
Well, certainly, obviously, there's a core system in Datatrack, but as a product, the system is not just modular, but highly configurable. So we have a huge number of configuration options, so we can tweak how it works for different customers. Everyone's got their own particular customers with tricky requirements or different requirements and so on. So certainly over the years, Sam and I have discussed a number of challenges that Mach-Tech have had. It could be unusual, or it could be based on the industries they're working in and so on. And we've chatted through how different solutions could work through the system, where there have been options we could tweak and activate. We've adjusted the settings, and where they've been, if you like, new features from the ground up, we've consulted together. So Simon will have described from a business point of view what it is he would like. We've then discussed, and I've questioned back, okay, how features should work. And between us, we've actually come up with what's a really good solution. And that's key to it. It's the collaboration. It's not just one set of ideas. It's both sides of the business relationship working together to come up with what's really going to work, what's really going to save time. And we've got many examples of having done that for Mach-Tech over recent years.
Okay, I think key to what you've said there, Geoff, is if people don't know what you guys do, obviously production control software, but it's just for engineers, subcontract engineers. That's all you do. You don't do, I don't know, food manufacture or whatever it might be. That's your speciality.
Exactly, subcontract precision engineers. So we understand what's going on, and obviously the system's geared in the right way that we can tweak and tailor where it's necessary to do so.
Okay, so when Simon's talking to you about annealing or 5-axis milling or mill turning or whatever it might be, you guys know that, as opposed to some other solutions out there which may not have that engineering expertise.
Well, exactly. I mean, the style of how data needs to flow through a system for a subcontract precision engineering business has a certain flow to it that's not going to be the same if you're making totally different products, let's say.
Absolutely. So you've got your core system, I need to get this wrong, 27 modules, 26 at the moment?
26 at the moment, very soon 27. Simon knows about the 27th.
Well, Simon.
Yeah, looking forward to that one.
Tell me about the 27th then. I'm going to put you under some pressure. How's that?
Right, well, we had a demo a couple of weeks ago with Geoff. It's a contract review module. I think what's quite appealing from our point of view is we have all our customers have different requirements, different levels of quality, it appears. And this module is going to allow us to communicate those levels through everyone in the business, and put a certain element of control in as well. It's going to make a hell of a difference to us, I think.
Excellent. So even more efficient, even more profitable, hopefully. Well, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. The main thing is communication for us. It's definitely going to help a lot.
Right. I think that's key to it, what anybody does, isn't it? I mean, look, these days you'll get an email or a text, but it's all about communication, and that's key to what the guys at PSL do. Because have you been doing it over email, over text, or actually Zoom calls and things like that?
When you say doing it, Colin, what do you mean in terms of working out what it needs to do?
Yeah, in terms of work out, what processes you need or why you actually need this module and what this module can do for these guys.
Well, in terms of the contract review module, the requirement came from discussions several years ago. It was actually a prospective customer that was running a contract review process through a different system that they used to use. And it was something they needed to have in Datatrack, but we looked at it and thought, well, they're doing 10% of a job. we won't give them 10%. We want to give them 100% because we want this to really add value to our entire customer base. So we then got to talking to a number of our customers that are AS 9100 accredited. And typically the demands for contract review are more stringent. There are more things you have to record, produce evidence of, and so on. And then the more customers we spoke to, and that includes Simon at Mach-Tech as well, the feedback we got, we worked out the number of, if you like, differences that we needed to bring in. So you've got risk level control in terms of sign-off, you've got feasibility checks, you've got contract review checks at the point of works order, you've got the fact there could be, if you like, minor points that you need before delivery, but the job could be worked on. You could be waiting for labels. The whole thing's designed so that you can effectively script a profile for each customer. You can then, that's your core. Think of it a bit like Datatrack and being modular. It is. So you've got the modularity of, you've got a definition in a company profile. You've then got that profile can have rules set on it that can bring various checks through to the feasibility study, and also various checks through to the contract review sign-off at the works order stage. You know who signed off, when they did it, and it checks all the risk levels.
Okay, and I'm assuming then that ties in with the industries you're working in, Simon, which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. We've, like I alluded to earlier, every single one of our customers have different requirements, and at the moment, a lot of that information is stored in an, I wouldn't say inaccessible position on Datatrack, but it's not easy to communicate to everyone, and it requires a lot of user input to get that across to production staff. So yeah, that's why this module is really appealing to us. It's going to automate a lot of that for us. Just allow us to focus on more where we should be focused on, sort of driving new business.
Absolutely. I think from that, what you said, I'm going to just cover it up again, is, you've got, it's engineering specific, you've got your modules, 27 shortly, but you can configure those for each engineering company, but then you can bespoke them as well. And you're always developing, and you've taken, you work with Mach-Tech, a number of the guys, Geoff, to bespoke this, and then you're going to let it out to the world as such.
Well, yeah, so the module will be going on general release very, very soon. I think initially it will go out to selected customers who are happy to take an early version just to really prove it in the wild. It's been on beta test with one customer for the last 4 months now. So we know fundamentally it's good. It's just the little tweaks around the outside that we've been working on over the last couple of months, to be honest.
Okay, well, we look forward. Sorry.
We see it as really just taking the system to another level. Talk about subcontractors going to another level. Giving that contract review that quality control throughout the system, I think it's really an exciting enhancement to the system.
Excellent. Well, depending on how successful this is, I might call Simon back and we can review that in a few months' time, see how it's all going.
I was just about to say, Colin, I'm hopefully we're going to be one of those selected customers who's going to get the module early.
Certainly, Simon.
Oh, there you go. And just to clarify, this is being recorded, so there you go, Geoff. If this experience isn't too traumatic, Simon, then maybe we'll invite you back, and please don't decline, and see how it's all going. Hopefully, very well. So,
I hope so. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, because we're trying to grow our business as well. We're going to bring more people into the sales team of the business, so we need to be more effective in communicating. So I think it will be worth doing it. Be up for that.
Okay, so more sales. Does that tie in with? I think one of the systems you've got is just. Now I'm going to struggle with this again. I've done it before. Statistics screen. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've got a statistics screen turned on. Mainly, we all look at it, but I think from the chairman's point of view, he loves it. Just be able to come in and see that one screen sort of snapshot of what's going on. And then it allows him to ask those awkward questions that he needs to ask. Okay.
Now, just for sake of clarification, statistics screen, I've got that right there. Different to a status board.
Yeah, very much so, Colin. I mean, what we're doing, we're taking 57 KPIs from around the system, and you see them in one shot. So, of course, it's information you could get from running umpteen different reports. But why not? You don't know what to run. having it presented on one screen, you can look at any anomalies. And like Simon said, that's where you then ask the awkward questions. Why is this here? Why is that there? What's happened here?
Okay, and I'm assuming this is a rhetorical question. I'm assuming you can bespoke that to your own company. So you might not have 57 KPIs. You could make it 20, 30, whatever it may be.
The stats that get displayed are based on the modules you have. So it adapts based on the size of your system.
Yeah, and more concerning is how it gives the MD or the CEO the chance to ask those difficult questions and put you under some pressure, Simon.
Well, he doesn't ask too many of us at the moment, which is good.
That's a good. That's all because of how much PSL data trackers. I'm not leading into this answer, but how much PSL data trackers help you.
Well, this is it. But the thing is, it is so good, that statistics screen. I go on there, and when I need it's like little prompters. You got certain things to sort out, and it's invaluable. So it's just great from my point of view.
Yeah, so keeping it nice and simple, and then enabling you to highlight things that need addressing pretty much straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Moving on, like you say, you're great industries, great work you're doing, taking on the PSL Datatrack system. In terms of quoting, you mentioned earlier Excel spreadsheet. How long would it have taken previously? Would it have taken you to do a quote, for example?
Well, we've in the past we've had sort of quite large quotes, and they could be over 100 items. And I remember one of those quotes taking approximately a week to get it all loaded. That's not finalised. That's just getting it all on the system, getting the basic information in there. So it could take about a week in the past. Now, with the quote import utility, the information we normally provided with is electronic in form, and we can format that into a CSV file, import it into the quote import utility. We can also apply templates to the parts. So when it brings it into Datatrack, it will copy certain quotes, and that can happen quite quickly. I, for example, did a sort of 105 item quote, and it took about 45 minutes to load it.
Oh, right. Okay. So just to reiterate, one quote previously, roughly 100 items, roughly a week, and now one quote, 105 items, 45 minutes.
That's right, and it will have a template of what all the processes are it needs to go through, and then it just leaves us to finish off all the technical side of the sort of hours and materials and any subcontract processes.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. And then I think a lot of quotes as well, being able to quote efficiently and quickly is key to what the buyers want. And so, did you win that business?
That particular one we did, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a bit of a pause there. I'm like, oh no. But that's
well, we have noted that jobs, if we can get a quote back within sort of a day and a half, the percentage chances of winning that work just is so much bigger. If you're over 2-3 days, it drops off.
Okay, so just, I mean, the system is making you more efficient in terms of your quoting by putting the correct data in, but you're actually winning work, and I'm assuming you're super efficient anyway, but the fact that you can quote a lot quicker is winning your work, even if you might not be the cheapest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I said it's like the Amazon generation. They also expect the goods to turn up the next day as well, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Not for you guys though, because I know probably a model you don't have, but things like material carousels and control and tool vending, that is another solution that you're able to provide, Geoff, which would help you get that business even quicker.
It is, Colin. So the idea is we've always tried to interface and exchange data where it's practical, and there's a benefit to doing it. So as Simon said, in terms of importing data from the customer, it's tailored slightly and then it's imported. It saves a huge amount of time. We've linked to tool vending machines in the past, so we have customers whereby they'll have physical control of the tools through the vending system. That then creates a log of the tools that have been released, which works orders and so on. And we can then take that data and update the tooling module so you know where your stock levels are, what you need to replenish and so on. We've done the same with material carousels. So where there's physical control over bar stocks, as the materials removed from relevant shelves, the system can then pick up that feed and update the material stock system. So it's really a case of we're going to look at where we can adapt and link in and provide efficiency savings.
Absolutely. I think that's key to the environment we're in at the moment as well, in terms of material stocks, with prices are going up all the time. So you want to keep that sort of lean, mean, and efficient, don't you?
Certainly, all the time. Take away the dead time where you can.
Absolutely. So in terms of, I mean, again, going back to the fact, Simon, that you mentioned you're doing F1, you're doing space, you're doing nuclear, and many others. I think traceability, that's going to be key to what you do.
Yeah, absolutely, Colin. We maintain traceability on every single part, and we have done for years, well, since Datatrack, really. We use the document management system throughout the system fairly heavily, certainly in quotations. We put all our supplier information in there so that anyone can access it later on in the process. Anything that we manufacture, like all the works orders, they are ultimately scanned in and saved against the works orders on the system as well. So you've got a physical sort of copy, should we say, electronically stored. So if there's a bit of blood and guts on the paperwork, we'll see that, as well as any notes that any engineer might have.
Let's keep it real.
It does happen.
Nice. Okay. But I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of information going in there. Key to getting it right. Get the information right at the beginning. It comes out a lot better at the end. It's super efficient and making you more profitable. And so I'm assuming it's an intuitive system. It's nice and easy to use. Yeah, you invest that time at the beginning, and at the end you reap the real benefits. That's what I'm getting the vibe here.
Yeah, it just flows. You know, once you understand how a module works, you can sort of apply that to the other modules. It's all very sort of intuitively laid out, I would say.
Okay, and you've taken on a module. Have you taken on any other modules recently?
I can't remember the last module we've had. We've pretty much got all of them apart from 2 or nearly 3 now.
Right, so you've got about 18 of them then.
Yeah, so I think it's only good.
That was a maths gag. Come on, guys. It was 18 plus 26. I do apologise. That very poor gag, gentlemen, but I'm completely wasted.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll have a wry chuckle to myself, but that's it. Anyway, moving on swiftly. One more thing I want to cover with you, Geoff, is great system, bespoke, well, off the shelf, but bespoke. I always mention that. But it's not just for one company. You can have groups of companies.
You can, yeah. So we've actually got an example where we have a group of three companies under the same ownership. And what's actually able to happen there, we've automated it to the point where one of the companies supplies the other two. And at the point the system produces a delivery note, it detects and knows it's the internal account for one of the others. Well, it's an external account, but it knows it's part of the group. The delivery notes are automatically saved in PDF form to a relevant folder on the system. The data from the delivery note is extracted, so it's visible to the other systems that automatically detect and automatically raise GRNs to book those goods in. So it was really quite an interesting project to work on, and yeah, the benefits are immense in that particular example.
Excellent. All right then. Now, next question next thing I'm going to cover here then is, well, you know, key over the last 2-3 years, maybe a bit more. It's all about automation, and automation does not include, you know, it includes your robot arms, your bar feeders, your pallet loaders, but that's key to what you guys do. You're automating that whole system in terms of the back end, the quoting process, through to the final invoice.
We're trying to take out the legwork or the donkey work where we can, and I think it's one of those things. And Simon, you could tell us your views in a second on this, but from our point of view, you can't fully automate where people need to make decisions. You know, if it's a quotation, you need commercial judgment as well. There has to be a point where you can check overall, make a decision, but it's taking out, like I say, all the manual effort. Like Simon said, getting those 105 quotes in there very quickly, and then reviewing and deciding what you want to tweak and adjust. That's where we're strong, taking away the unnecessary work.
So Simon, so just very briefly, how other sort of areas that's helped you guys in terms of that automation side of things and streamlining processes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like from a quoting point of view, we've had a few things like export materials by inquiries, and subcontract export subcon by inquiries. You imagine 104 items, Colin, and we've got to get material prices for all those. We basically put them on the system, then we export it straight into a notepad, and copy that straight into an email and off to the supplier, and that's very slick. It just saves quite a lot of time.
Absolutely.
Same thing with the subcon as well.
I think the important thing with that is the system's got a structured purchase inquiry feature, but when you're talking about a large number of quotes, as Simon alluded to there, it can be partway through the quote. You just want to bang something out quickly, get an idea of prices back now, rather than waiting until completed entry. So it's what we always aim to do is come up with practical solutions, but we can't come up with those practical solutions alone. Of course, we have our ideas, but they have to come out of, and I said earlier about collaboration, they come out of a collaboration on ideas. What's going to be effective? What's actually going to be useful and productive for you?
Okay, right. I know all great stuff in. I've got a few points I'm going to mention at the end, but two more final points is, Simon, are you a fan of the status board? And also, how many quotes, you've said there, some of these quotes have 100 plus items per quote. So your status boards, and how many quotes are you doing per year?
Okay, status boards, yes, we're a fan of status boards. We've had them configured for quite a number of years now, and they're dotted around our shop floor. It's just so great to get a quick visual of where each cost centre are, and who's logged on as well, and who's actually working on.
And always green, I'm assuming?
Always green, absolutely, yeah. We do drive it by target date, so we've got a few days in hand anyway, if it does go red, Colin. But,
okay, that's good. But it's just a nice, easy to use system. I'm a big fan of the visual, so you see the colour change for whatever reason, you can be straight on it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good visual cues all the time.
If I could interject slightly, for anyone else that obviously wouldn't know, the status boards in this example, I mean, I won't divulge exactly how they work, but it's taking a feed and it's providing a live work to list. So when the schedule is recalculated, the work to list update, you know exactly where you are all the time. And there's some innovative features we put into how they work at Mach-Tech, which are really, really useful.
Sounds like they're really working well, and they're helping you do. Now, how many quotes do you reckon you do a year, roughly, Simon?
Yeah, on average, the last 7 years, it's been 6,200 quotes a year.
6,000. Right, let's just clarify that. 6,200 quotes a year.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you don't win them all, but I assume PSL Datatrack's helping you win quite a few.
Well, we do. Yeah, for us, we're sort of like between 45-50% of everything we quote. We win, which is actually, I think, in our industry, quite good.
I'll tell you what, from my understanding, that's absolutely fantastic. That really is. That's a lot of work there for you guys. So I'm sort of wrap it up here then. So what I'm getting is some key points here. It's all about automation, quick quoting, because the quickest to quote is going to win that business a lot more often. And then also working closely, from Geoff's perspective, working closely with you guys. So a quick, would your business have been successful without PSL Datatrack?
I just can't imagine still be working on Excel spreadsheets, to be honest, Colin. We couldn't have tracked this sort of caliber of customers we got because we couldn't have managed and kept that traceability together. I doubtful if we would have got ISO. We actually got ISO after getting Datatrack installed.
There you go.
So there you go. Really, it's perfect for us.
There you go. That's a perfect little quote. But Geoff, anything else you'd like? I think he's just given you great endorsement there. But anything else you'd like to add?
No, it's really a case of really thank you to Simon for all his interest and feedback over the years, to be honest, because like I said, collaboration is key to really how we make the system useful. And it takes two sides to make that work.
Great. Geoff, Simon, I'm just going to finish off with that then. As you've just said, Simon, it's helped you win the caliber of clients we've got, and it's perfect for Mach-Tech. Geoff, thank you very much for joining us again. Simon, I would say thank you very much for joining us again as well after our last little technical issue. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. That's another MTDCNC podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it and learnt loads.
Thank you to both of you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the MTD podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on mtdcnc.com.